how do you rookie draft? The startup, we talk about that ad nauseum, how to trade back, when to trade back, always trade back, definitely go for wide receivers. There's so much content on it, but what do you do in a rookie draft? And as someone who, the rookie draft itself has taken on a particular importance in the way I play Dynasty, not because I'm trying to build through it, but because I'm particularly looking for upside through the rookie draft. I think about it a lot. And I have thoughts. I want to share them with you because I think I do it right and everyone else does it wrong, and you should do it how I do it. This is what you do in a rookie draft. Outside of you should trade for picks and outside of you should take value in all trades, the first thing to know is that you draft the best player, the player that you think is the most likely to have the most fantasy success the earliest. If you really like a player but you think through whatever process you use that it's going to take a minute, that guy should be rated behind another guy. If you think that running backs score more points earlier, because they do, and you have a running back and a wide receiver that you like just as much, you should lean running back. And in fact, if you look at that hit rate draft video we did, specifically on rookie draft ADP through DLS history, you should lean running back as default. That's another good bullet point to put in your process. So those are the first things we've talked about before off the rip. You should definitely employ them. You should definitely have them in your head while you're doing a rookie draft. I can't decide between Gibbs and Addison. I hate it because I really like Jordan Addison. But you probably should go Gibbs, because I don't want to talk about how I would draft. I'm going to do more videos. I have a ranking sheet. This is how I value them. This is who I want. This is who I want to draft in order. But the fact is that I'm hoping you come up to your own answers and different answers, and you play your own rookie draft. And that's the important point. I would take Gibbs over Addison, even though I really like Addison. If you don't like Addison, that was an easy decision. But what if you don't like Gibbs? You should take the running back. Because that's part of the process. That's not about your evaluation, that's about how accurate ADP gets those things. You can fade Gibbs, but that's where you start to think about trading back into a player that you think you like better or anything else. And so you can still play value. But you can learn how to do a rookie draft without drafting the players that I would draft, and that's what I want to talk about. Any minute. Just give me a second. So the best way I found, or I try to find to play rookie drafts, is you want to trade up or you want to trade out. You want to go get the players you have the most certainty on, or you want to trade back for value, or trade down for value, or whatever else, trade into 2024 class and get pluses to have other decisions because you don't want this one. The reason for that is, after the fact, after you make a draft pick, you want to be able to know what you're betting on. So you don't like Addison, he's too small. So you know what you're betting in. And if you fall into Addison, because even though you don't like him, he fell to a good value or whatever else, then one, that feels worse. But the other thing is, you don't know what you're betting on. You're betting on what someone else thinks. The reverse is that if you like just a name at random, not in the same conversation. But if you liked Xavier Hutchinson, and you want to draft him, and you trade up from wherever your pick is to where you think he's going to be taken to get him, then you know what you're betting on as well. And if he doesn't hit, you can then go back and reassess what you were betting on, why you liked Addison's profile, why it might not have worked out. Then you need to have a way to make decisions, and that's why essentially you should always trade up for those players, because you know what you're betting on, you know why you're making this decision to draft this particular player. It feels better to be wrong on a player that you liked and intentionally drafted than right on a player that you didn't like but you fell into because he slipped in ADP. In a rookie draft, one, lean running back. Sure, we can use ADP trends that way. But you should always trade up for the player that you think is going to score the most players the soonest and have the most fantasy success the earliest, essentially. And by using rookie drafts in that specific way, we can actually improve and do better year over year. We can start targeting classes at a higher rate. We can start targeting classes at all, which is definitely something you should incorporate. And we can start to learn from it. Current Dynasty League football ADP does not suggest that Will Levis and Anthony Richardson are going to be considerations in that top tier of players. But after the combine and all the conversation going on around him, Anthony Richardson's going to be a very high pick in superflex drafts this year. And I kind of respect it. So if your process leads you to, I think he can, then you should be drafting him incredibly high in superflex drafts. My own process says I can't know that. That's what I mean by not evaluating quarterback much anymore. I've hung that up on a shelf. I don't have the answer yet. I do look at accuracy. I do try to get to some understanding, but I don't think I have any keys that are going to help unlock the box of will Anthony Richardson, Josh Allen become much more efficient in the NFL, which has literally only happened that one time. Like becoming as efficient as you need to be a great quarterback at the NFL with that, like it's literally just happened once. Hurts, Lamar Jackson, all of them were much more efficient than Josh Allen, and Josh Allen was stratospheres above Anthony Richardson in accuracy. Does that mean that it's not in his range of outcome? No. I'm not going to debate that here. But if you think it is through your process, then you should definitely be willing to make that bet in the Superflex draft. You should draft him in the top 3. You should draft him one-on-one, because that would be the max upside from a Superflex rookie draft. The player in this class that has that level of upside that I do think I have some process that works for is Bijan Robinson. And so even though I think JSN is like one of the best wide receiver prospects that we've seen coming out ever, and definitely over the last few years, I lean running back anyway, and I think I have a process that puts me on a pretty good track to being more accurate more of the time. So I believe Bijan Robinson's rank, and I think he's I think he's the player who's most likely to have the most success the earliest. There are 2 other players in this class I desperately want to draft, and since I won't be able to get all of them because I don't have that much value on most of my rosters, but I will be actively trying, and that's Bijan Robinson, JSN, or Jackson Smith-Njigba, just in case you don't know, and Jordan Addison. Like, I love all 3 of those profiles. I like them a lot. There are many other players in this draft that I like. I really like Josh Downs. I have a fondness for several running backs that we're going to talk about in a few videos with my top 5 video coming out, if it hasn't already come out. And I want to lean running back in general. Will I fall into some of those running backs and wide receivers that I like further down? Josh Downs, for sure. And I definitely hope to do. But that's after those players are gone. After I've lost my opportunity to do that, then I start looking at other opportunities. And once I get past the list of players that I'm really actively interested in trading in for, I'm done with the rookie draft. And if I get none of them, then I get none of them. But I think that's the best way of playing a rookie draft in Dynasty. Always just play value. And that's more or not what wins more often. That's the best path to the highest rate, if you will. Always play value. Always be looking to get future picks with extras to let someone buy their maybe a boat this year. Normally me. But I think I like going for big swings somewhere to create a drastic change in a team's success, a drastic change in a dynasty roster's value or points per game. And I like using the rookie draft for that. Not necessarily the best way to play, but it does give you a direct path into how to play a rookie draft, and it fits in fairly well to a lot of different methods you can use to play in Dynasty, and it's fairly flexible that way too. That's what I'm going to be doing this year. It's what I did last year and the year before. I didn't manage to draft all the players I wanted last year. I'm not going to be able to draft all the players I want this year, by identifying the ones by tier that I really want to go and get, and being willing to burn value to identify that profile for the max upside or the upside in a rookie draft is where I will take my risk in Dynasty. Again, it just gives you a clear way of playing a rookie draft. Where I am, can I trade this 2nd round pick into the 1st round pick that I want this year? Because I think my process can hit higher than average. And you don't have to accept anyone else's ranks. It's just other pieces of information. But when you're in a rookie draft, you go for the best player with the most upside the earliest. Those are